Another thing that can be linked are images, right? So that's a really common thing to do. You want to put as many of those as possible. People find images a lot more appealing than they do other elements. It should maybe even be the most prominent aspect of a website, I would even argue. If you ever watched a PowerPoint and it's just text, it becomes extremely boring. You probably notice I try to put as many images as I can inside of mine, although there's a limit because I have to show you how to write things, so there has to be some text. So to link an image, this would be the tag, and here are various attributes that you can apply to it in order to define what that image would be. Now, the image is actually an open element, which means that it doesn't wrap around any content. It just ends on its own. You can see like the / there, okay? So you don't put anything inside of it because it is the content, right? So you would write img, that's how you know. The src is kind of like href, that's the source. And then this is the folder that it's in. Remember, we have an images folder underneath our web folder that we did, the master folder. And then so inside the images folder is an image called paco.jpg. Okay. Now, another thing you're going to want to put is an alt. That provides description of the image if it is not seen. It's particularly important for screen readers. This is one of those things that we want to be responsible, and it's also a requirement. But in order to be ADA compliant, Americans with Disability Act, you want to make sure that you put your alts in there. Because when they're doing a screen reader, when this reads through, that will read whatever you write inside the alt, right? So I have Paco hugging a stuffed animal, right? So that's what it's going to read instead of seeing the picture. The other thing you can put is the title. If you hover over it, you'll see it pops up, it says Paco. That's the title of the picture. That's not nearly as important as this. Make sure you have the alt in there. And then you can also determine a width and height, okay? You do not have to put pixels in there. It will assume that you're doing pixels. I usually do put px behind it just in case to make it explicit. It's okay to do it this way. This is one of those things, though, where this is more of like a formatting design aspect. So you would want to use CSS to determine that. And you'll see that's what we're going to do. We're going to use, we'll use both initially. We'll use this initially, but then eventually we'll switch it to CSS. Okay, so this is the general way that you would write it, and your result will be something